Asparagus season. You didn't think I was going to do that, did you? It's here. We're going to show you 3 delicious ways to serve it.
We're doing Chef Bill. He's a personal chef. ChefBill.com is his website, author, but you already know that. Melvin today, right?
Oh, yep, shrimp au Melvin. It's a favorite of mine. I've been making it for many years, and it's so simple to make, but the great thing about it is asparagus. Hadley asparagus, the season is here. Not only is this the kickoff to our great local produce all season long till the end of November, but the asparagus says spring has arrived, summer's coming, and it's great.
And some of us may think summer's already here, right?
Well, you know, it's a little toasty out. I think yes, but that's a great thing. You know, asparagus. We're going to be having the local Hadley asparagus into the middle of June, and that's what just makes it such a great thing. It's like candy.
And nationally, people talk about Hadley asparagus. It's a big thing.
It really is.
We don't mess around.
Not at all. A lot of magazines, Severe Magazine, Yankee Magazine, others have called it the standard for asparagus. So, in my humble opinion, I think there's Hadley asparagus, and then everything else.
So don't miss your opportunity to get the Hadley grass now.
Exactly.
Now I noticed that when I'm shopping, there's the thin asparagus, and then there's the beefy, thicker asparagus.
Yes.
Is there one that you would choose over the other?
Well, you see, they both have their purposes. They're both pretty much the same thing in that the taste is just going to be great with them.
Right.
The thinner ones come from younger plants. So and the thicker ones they've been around for a number of years. Now, the thing is, with so many of the thicker asparagus, you do need to peel them. My personal bias is you don't have to peel the Hadley ones. It's so fresh and tasty. If you do get that heavy taste, then yeah, you really should peel just the thicker ones. But because often what happens is it's just such a thick skin that you get a crunch before you get into it.
And it's just not pleasant, and you want to enjoy what you're eating.
Exactly.
So, all right, got it. So how do we start a shrimp au Melvin?
Well, first thing, actually two first things. One of them is, when you start out, how do you know where to cut the asparagus? Actually, could you hand me that oil over there, which has nothing to do with cutting asparagus? and I just want to mention that all of the foods come from our friends at Whole Foods in Hadley. And the shrimp, the asparagus, all of it. So I'm just going to, now this pan's a little bit hot, so I'm going to just toss the shrimp in first.
Okay.
So, and get that nice and sizzling.
Sauteing up the shrimp real easy.
Yeah, and that just takes a few minutes. But now when it comes to, and the portobello mushrooms are going in, and one thing about portobello mushrooms, a lot of folks don't know, is under a light stream water, clean off the top, but with the bottom, you want to take that out, the little rib things, and they'll just come right out. Otherwise, I mean, you can eat them, they're perfect, nobody's going to you'll get sick from them, but also they can turn your food really dark brown or black, so might as well skip that, because this is a liquidy dish.
Okay.
So while the shrimp is cooking, I'm just going to kind of give this a little bit of a stir around.
Some asparagus?
Yes, and here's how you can tell how to cut asparagus. And I'm going to just pull this one out.
I'll grab one. Here we go.
You see, a lot of times, the very end is almost very woody. It's a very stalky texture. And so how do you know where to cut? And the asparagus will tell you where to cut. I don't hear voices from my asparagus. You give it a bend, and when you bend, that's a natural breaking point from where the stalkiness part is versus the where the good part is. Where the natural break is. Now, one thing you do is break each and every one, or you can take this one as a guide and then just slice all of them through.
Yeah, that's my kind of, that's my,
exactly,
yeah,
so just do the one.
So and then what do we representative for the group.
What do we do with these?
Well, there are a number of things you can do with them. One of them is you can put them in your compost pile, or you can actually make an asparagus soup. Now, what I do with asparagus asparagus soup is I'd actually make a stock first, because you also want the regular asparagus ends in, but this is still going to end up being very chewy. Just simmer it with some chicken stock for a while, and all the flavor will come through.
Very good.
But back to the au Melvin.
Oh yes, au Melvin. So I've already got the shrimp here. It's almost done. You can tell with shrimp when it's cooking, when it doesn't jump out of the pan, that it curls up, it turns pink, and so this is almost ready.
And it smells like Melvin.
Well, yes, although yes, it does smell like Melvin. So
what does that mean anyway?
We need to say who Melvin is?
I think we do now.
I think we do. Melvin
like
was a dog that I had. He was my favorite of all time. He worshipped me. So I named some of my dishes after Melvin.
Well, that's great. So but this dish doesn't smell like a wet dog.
No, no, it does smell like a wet dog.
That's for the best.
No, it smells like shrimp.
Okay.
Right.
So, see, that's how quick this cooks. Back to the recipe.
Good.
Dropped it in there. I'm going to put a little bit more olive oil in and the portobello mushrooms. Okay. Just slice them up. Now you can cover this up to make them go faster, but seeing as I left the lid elsewhere, we're just going to let this cook. A little liquid will come in. If you want a little more liquid, You can go with chicken stock, seafood stock, vegetable stock, whatever you want with it.
Now, Chef Bill, you're going to be here all show long. We're going to finish this dish later. What else are we going to do today?
We're going to be doing, actually, I have a couple of surprises for you. Just show you how versatile asparagus is.
Yeah?
I'm going to show really simple because it's such a simple dish, simple vegetable. I'm going to show you how to roast it. Easy. I'm going to show you how to steam it with some lemon zest, which is going to make the flavor jump up.
Nice.
And two other things with a little surprise for you, so you get to see how quick and easy asparagus is. To me, it's like candy. This is just the best.
All right.
I cannot wait.
I can take your word for it.
Smells amazing in here.
Also tip. We're back with personal chef Bill Collins, chefbill.com. We're talking asparagus. Now, why don't we first finish up the en Melvin recipe that we started at the beginning of the show?
I think we should, because the shrimp came out, the portobello mushrooms went in with garlic. I put in some seafood stock, some white wine, and then the asparagus. The asparagus cooked through, and then I just threw the shrimp back in, some Parmesan cheese, freshly grated, and then I just finished up with some cherry tomatoes, which are just kind of warmed through.
A beautiful, healthy meal.
And you can put it on top of pasta, whatever you want. You've chosen quinoa
I've
today.
got some quinoa here. It goes on top of anything. And if you do it with pasta, I like the look of just actually mixing it with the pasta, so it's just one big family-style served dish. It's great.
Now, if people are looking to serve something like asparagus just as a side dish, you also have alternative ways to cook it. Is that right?
I do, and one of them is just take a little sheet pan, and I take some of the asparagus, rinse it off. I trimmed it like we showed earlier.
Right.
And I just throw on just a little bit of olive oil, mix it all up, a little salt and pepper, and then just kind of roll it around that way.
And then throw it in the oven?
And just throw it in the oven, 425 degrees. This one, 425. It'll take about 10-12 minutes, and then you're good to go.
All right, easy enough.
Yep, and then the next one is even simpler and faster.
I like that.
And what I do is, and I've got some going right here, some water, just a little bit of water. I don't need much. Don't even have to do a regular steamer. Put a little bit of water, about 3.5 minutes, that'll be done. And then once it comes out, either just like that, or I like to grate on some lemon zest, and just the zest, it just brings out the flavor so much more, and it's a great combination.
It gives it the oomph.
It really does oomph it up, and for something that doesn't need oomping up, it really oomphs it up, so it's a really nice thing.
You know what else I'm thinking, too? If you don't want to get your kitchen all hot, this works similar to the way you put it in the oven. It works the same on the grill.
I've already grilled it already this year. Same thing. It's even faster on the grill, so you can grill it, you can steam it, you can roast it in the oven, and if you have some left over, when does that ever happen? If you happen to have a little prosciutto lying around, it makes a
Always.
great...
I always have an
don't we
oven.
all have some in the fridge?
I got to go have dinner at your house more often.
And it's a great way to just a little, as you're sitting in the veranda having your cocktails before dinner.
It is a
classy.
really good
It's a classic little what to do with prosciutto and asparagus when you can't think of anything else. And then you've got the shrimp en Melvin, and so many different ways to do asparagus. You're only limited by your imagination. It's like candy. I keep saying it's like candy, and I love asparagus season because it also means everything else is going to follow as well.
Yes,
Well, then
which
you
is
know
so
what?
exciting.
Go to town.
I will. I thank you.
By the way,